Dear students, in this class 11th zoology, we are dealing with human physiology. The first chapter we have almost completed, digestion and absorption. The second chapter is breathing and exchange of gases, what in shorter terms called as respiration. Respiration is a biochemical process. This is a biochemical process catalyzed by a set of enzymes which leads to the oxidation of food. Oxidation here means the addition of oxygen. The seat of respiration is the mitochondria of the cells, where the respiration takes place. The respiratory fuel are the food in which oxidation takes place. That food is almostly glucose, C6H12O6. This is a series of reactions in which the main process can be broken down into two processes. The first is glycolysis and the next is Krebs cycle. Before going into the details of the chapter, we will have some important definitions in relation to this chapter, respiration or breathing and exchange of gases. Breathing can be simply defined as the exchange of gases O2 and CO2 with the respiratory surface. In human beings, the respiratory surface is the lungs. The lungs contain tracheae, bronchi, bronchioles, and lung alveoli. Lungs are two in number. The lung alveoli, or what we call as the atria, are the final sites of breathing where the respiration takes place, external respiration takes place. But so far the process of respiration is concerned, there are two important terms. First is the external respiration, next is the internal respiration. External respiration involves intake of oxygen and leaving out carbon dioxide at the respiratory surface of lungs. Internal respiration is also called as cellular respiration, or more appropriately it can be called as oxidation. This oxidation takes place in the cells, or more appropriately this cellular respiration occurs within the mitochondria, where glucose is oxidized. Whenever it is oxidized, the oxidation takes place by a series of enzymes. The final products of oxidation are carbon dioxide, water, and the energy currency, that is adenosine triphosphate. There is difference between the respiration and the burning of food, or what we call as the combustion. Respiration takes place in living organisms. The combustion takes place in all the substances, whether living or non-living, when the substance catches fire. It is also the oxidation process, but this oxidation process is uncontrolled. The energy is released in the form of heat and light. That is uncontrolled, but respiration is the controlled combustion or controlled burning within the boundaries of the cellular membrane in the mitochondria, where the adenosine triphosphate is released as a side product. There are more terms to be defined first before going into the details of the chapter. Respiratory surface. Respiratory surface in human beings are a pair of lungs. The lungs are two in number that are present in the visceral cavity, right lung and the left lung. They act as the respiratory surface. Then the next term is respiratory medium. Respiratory medium is the air or water in which the respiration takes place. For human beings, the respiratory medium is air. The oxygen is present in air, which is drawn inwards through external respiration and drawn into the lungs, where the exchange of gases takes place. In aquatic organisms such as fishes, the respiratory medium is water. There are more terms to be defined. Before going into the details, respiration is of two types: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. This aerobic respiration takes place whenever there is addition of oxygen and glucose is oxidized. Anaerobic respiration takes place whenever there is no addition of oxygen. This aerobic respiration takes place in almost all the plants and animals. This anaerobic type of respiration takes place in some fungi, some yeasts, and some bacteria, which oxidize the food without the addition of oxygen. Aerobic respiration is very efficient due to the reason, by this aerobic respiration, from 1 molecule of glucose or 1 mole of glucose, we get at least net molecules of 32 ATP molecules of energy from this anaerobic background or anaerobic pathway, which takes place in fermentation or purple sulfur bacteria, iron bacteria, where the oxygen is not utilized and there is net gain of 8 ATP molecules. The animals and living organisms in which aerobic respiration takes place, they are called aerobes. And the living organisms in which the anaerobic respiration takes place, they are called as anaerobes. The aerobic respiration, however, is also of different types. One is cutaneous respiration, next is buccopharyngeal respiration, third one is bronchial respiration, and the fourth one is pulmonary respiration. These final types of aerobic respiration will be dealt in the next lecture. Thank you.